We are very happy to have as our chapel speaker today the brother of one of the professors here at our college and a pastor who is known to many of you, Pastor Iver Sonnack of Penn Avenue Lutheran Church.
The book of Habakkuk begins by posing the question, why does God govern the world in such a way so as to permit violence and oppression and to allow other forms of evil to destroy the righteous? The book never answers the question. The question, as we find it stated here in its most classic form in the 13th verse of the first chapter, is stated as God is addressed with these words by the prophet. Thou who hast eyes too pure to see evil and canst not tolerate wrong, why dost thou tolerate the treacherous? Keep still when the wicked swallow the righteous. This, of course, is not the first time or the only time that the fairness of God's government was questioned in Israel. Jeremiah and Job couched the same question in more personal terms, as did several of the writers of the Psalms. The reply that the Lord gave to this question is recorded in the second chapter, in these words, Then the Lord answered me and said, Write the vision and inscribe it upon tablets that one may read it at a glance. For the vision is still maturing till its time. It hastens to its inevitable fulfillment. If it seems slow, wait for it surely comes. It will not be late. The unrighteous, his soul swoons within him, but the righteous shall live by faith. God in this instance is not the simple problem solver that so many of us like to meet, but he indicates instead a right response to the problem. The vision is still maturing till its time, he said. You in your lifetime may not see the final end of the matter, nor may your children or your children's children after you. But, said the Lord, it hastens to its inevitable fulfillment. There is purpose to what I am doing in Israel. There is purpose to what I have always done, and this purpose will be realized. The vision will be fulfilled, and it will be fulfilled on time. If it seems slow, said the Lord, wait for it. Hold steady where you are. Maintain yourself and your own integrity. Patience is the complement of faith. The unrighteous, said the Lord, his soul shall swoon within him. He is a feeble man in spite of his bravado, and he will faint, for his soul is not straight. He is a whistler in the dark places. But, said the Lord, the righteous shall live by faith. He does not know by what means the vision will be accomplished, but he knows that it is certain. He has trust and faith in me, and this will carry him across his doubts and fears, and it will sustain his life even when he seems to perish. I may be trusted, said the Lord, even when all visible signs of my presence may fail in your life. Now, this morning, our concern is not the redemption of history. We will leave the development of this to more competent hands. But we are concerned instead with the personal value of this for Habakkuk and also for us as individuals. In the author's experience, nothing mattered except faith in God and fellowship with God. He was indeed troubled that the wicked should prosper, and perhaps there was even a time when he thought to himself that maybe this is a way for me. And yet he knew that no matter how much they gained and how prosperous they seemed to be, they were empty, and they swooned and fainted within themselves. And he came to realize that the man who has fellowship with God is rich, even if he possesses nothing else. And so the real solution then, though not the answer that we might like to have, to the most perplexing riddle of life, and not only this one posed here, but many others, is the attainment of a state of mind where the question no longer matters. Now, whether we realize it or not, this is the way we live in so much of our own life. The relations that we have with one another, especially those that are most intimate and most dear, they are based on faith and trust. There are many perplexing things about one another of which we have no real understanding. But in the dearest relations to us, these questions really don't matter. Our fellowship with these that we love is the thing that counts, and we trust them, and we have faith in them. And so to live by faith and to live in love toward God and our fellow men is to live in fellowship with one another and in fellowship with God. And when we live by faith, the trust in the power of God's love, then these other questions really don't matter. And the quick and facile answers don't interest us anymore. And so to have faith in the purposes and in the will of God brings us to the point where it no longer matters, all these other questions. But it also brings us to the place where we may harness our minds and our energies toward the realization of God's purposes in our lives. Amen. May the peace